Greetings. Today we continue with part 2 of the sixth of the seven visions from Revelation chapter 14, verses 14 through 16. We've looked at what John saw in verse 14. So today we continue with what John heard in verse 15. And another messenger came out of the temple crying with a loud voice to the one sitting upon the cloud. Notice the authority comes from God the Father upon the throne. The authority is delivered, decreed aloud by the messenger. The decree says, you send the sickle of you, and you harvest now, because the hour to harvest it came, because the harvest of the earth it was ripened. I submit for your prayerful consideration that this declaration answers the question of Revelation 6:10 pertaining to the fifth seal, where it says, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Read Revelation 6:11. The little season until their fellow servants also, and their brethren that should be killed as they were, is now fulfilled. Matthew chapter 13, beginning at verse 24 says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst thou not sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, nay, or no, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye first the tares, and bind them in bundles, and burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. The difference between the true wheat and the tare becomes more evident toward harvest time. The wheat laden with much fruit bows itself to the earth and gives itself totally to fruit production, dying from the root up. The tare, which produces no fruit, remains tall, unbent, and undying, which manifests that it is a tare and not wheat. See, it's not my job, neither is it your job, to be busy to determine who are tares and trying to uproot them. Jesus said there's already a plan in place to deal with this problem. And again, in Matthew 13, beginning in verse 47, he says, and again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now we're given more details. Jesus will direct the harvest, and the messengers, the angels, will do the work of harvesting. First, there is identification in both examples. The good fruit and fish are ingathered first in order. Second, the chaff, the tares, the bad fish are destroyed with or in fire. I submit these agree with the content of the sixth vision which we have before us, and further with the seven visions which we will examine next time, the Lord willing. So as we close, let's look at the harvest of the earth in verse 16. And the one sitting upon the cloud, he cast out the sickle of him upon the earth, and the earth it was harvested. As God's plan of the ages is now unfolded, we've come to the place that God has determined that all the fruit there is to be harvested is now ready to be harvested. And therefore the time has also come to destroy all that is not fruit. Those who have not believed the declaration of his everlasting gospel and been martyred, and those who martyred his faithful ones, those who chose to worship the beast, his image, and his mark instead of God. And all we can say today is what we will be saying then: Alleluia, hallelujah, the Lord omnipotent reigns, as stated in Revelation 19 and verse 16.